we've talked multiple times this season, and a few weeks ago I had the girls, the whole team, write down what one of our strengths is, and multiple people put our size. And I think, especially at this level, to have these two on the inside is just a huge advantage for us, and we had to feed the post inside. Out of our 54 points, I think they combined for 33, and so we just knew that, we had to keep feeding them. I think we shot it over the rim a couple of times, but that was all right. I think they wanted a few more rebounds, maybe.
Kinzee, especially that third quarter there, you really came out really aggressive. I think you had about 4 or 5 offensive rebounds there early on. You guys get that lead up to 16. Just talk about coming out with that energy, especially after the way the first half ended.
Yeah, we had a lot of energy going in at half, and then we know that the third quarter was always slow start for us, so I was just like, if we can get on the boards early, then it'll get us going.
Can you talk about too, I think you guys didn't have a shot or make a shot outside of like 5 feet. Everything was inside, but I mean, when you've got that kind of advantage, that size advantage, it's easy to get that and everything. But
Yeah.
You're kind of impressed with how well you guys were able to get the ball inside.
One thing I'm gonna say is Kinzee Crow is the only kid that has ever played in this building. The last 2 years we've stayed home, and we haven't made it up here. And so I knew that it was gonna be an adjustment, to be able to play in this building. And we just said over and over again, you guys have to find the rim. There's a lot of open space. There's a lot of distractions in the background. And I kept getting aggravated that against the press, we were taking outside shots. I'm like, please get a layup. So I was just thankful to have them on the inside getting boards. And we want to encourage them shooting outside, but sometimes you just need to see the ball go through the net. And so I didn't know exactly. I didn't know that we didn't make a single outside shot, but I am thankful to have these two to rebound in there.
Macy, can you talk a little bit about what your experience is for the first time playing in this building and playing in the tournament game?
I would say it's definitely nerve-wracking for all of us. We were all kind of on edge. We just had to keep saying to each other, we all have to pitch in, which is what we did. That helped us tremendously for this win. It was like a team effort for all of us. We all had to keep each other calm, keep the energy up, and just encourage each other. That was what I think let us come out with the win.
Coach, was it last year or the year before where you had the injury late in the year that kind of caused things to kind of go sideways?
Yeah, so it was last year. Macy tore ACL.
Yeah.
And so, of our last 10 games, we lost 8. So it was a big hit for us. We're really thankful to have Macy back, and, we're just praying that we all stay healthy now.
Well, what was that like, especially with the way the season ended? You talked about just, not really being able to find that combination of Macy there and everything. What did that do for the girls, and how did you feel like they learned from that?
Whenever you take a hit like that, especially because the girls look to Macy so much, you go from having 6'2" all the time to not having somebody as a pressure release be able to throw the ball up to her, and then just mentally losing one of our best players. It was devastating to the girls, and so we got Macy back January 17th this year, and it was a little bit slow start. She was restricted for a little bit. It was 3 minutes a quarter that she could play, and she didn't think that was enough, but that was the doctor's orders, and then 5 minutes a quarter, and then finally she worked her way up to being able to work in the lineup completely. So we're just thankful to have a full team back, and like I said, at this point, you're just praying that we all stay healthy.
Macy, what's that like? I mean, especially after what happened last year.
I would say I just forgot about it. I just trust myself, trust my team. I know they all have my backs. They're all talking to me on the court. If someone's behind me, I would say it's just you trusting yourself in the work you've put in to just be able to play freely and just play with how you know how to play.
Do opponents kind of find it a little bit intimidating, especially when you guys are pressing, and there you are out there by half court, and these small guards see you there with that length and everything? That's got to be a pretty intimidating presence there.
I mean,
we're thankful to have her on the front of our press.
Yeah.
We definitely have a backside of it is open sometimes, and we're just thankful that her long arms kind of cover it up. So,
Macy, how did it feel being here for the first time?
it was.
Playing under these
I was
conditions?
definitely nervous, but I was we prepared, we're ready. We just have to work together. But yeah, I would say it's my first time, so I was just we just have to go all in, buy in to everyone.
Did you get any sleep last night?
Yeah, I went to bed really early.
she is definitely probably the mental coach of the team. She's she meal prepped before she came up here. She's girls, everybody's got to get to bed on time. But one cool thing I heard her say whenever we walked in the building is, this is just so exciting. And for every team, I hope that whenever you get up here, that all of them just understand what a privilege and an honor it is to be able to play up here. And we're just so proud of all of these girls for being able to walk in and get to play on this court today.
And I have a question for Kinzee. So you being the first one that's only played in this here, do you have any experience? Did you tell the guys don't get nervous? The baskets are different. It's a bigger gym. What was your advice?
So we knew there was gonna be like an open court behind the goal, and so I was like, if your first couple don't fall, like you gotta keep shooting. You gotta even tell yourself you can keep shooting. And they have a lot of trust in me and Mace to get those boards for them, so that helps them out. So.
And can you explain the dog chain?
It stands for determination.
No. We started this last year, and they just think that's the dog. It's like the blue collar kid that just goes out and works. But it does stand for, it could stand for determination, but it's discipline, attitude, will, and grit. And so we just try, some days it's hard to pick a dog and some days we don't have one. But you know, if there's a kid that just shows all out hustle and grit, that's who we crown the dog of the game.
That's a great motto for the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, what about Thursday? I mean, you guys play Tatum, and you guys are on a roll. You guys are on a roll right now for the last 7 or 8 weeks here.
Yeah, you know, it's a very familiar opponent, but also that's very nerve-wracking too. You've played them this many times. You know, they know us, we know them. So, I mean, it's going to be a dogfight, and we know that going in. They play very, very hard. We're going to see 32 minutes of in-your-face pressure, and we just got to make sure that we play tough.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
guys.
ladies.